Covering Colorado first in 2018. The stories that moved us.
He's a tough kid.
The events that defined us.
We just want to give them hope.
The people who made us proud to call Colorado home.
He's kind of like the family hero now.
Join us to remember a year where our shared connections bridged the divides among us, brought us together as a state, together for Colorado. CBS 4, covering Colorado first.
Hi everyone, I'm Britt Marino, and here we are inside one of Denver's most iconic spots, Union Station. CBS 4 reports the news through a unifying lens, so we share those stories of people coming together to overcome obstacles and to find strength and joy in each other. And that's how we recap 2018. It was a challenging start to the year. We lost 3 law enforcement in a matter of weeks. Deputies Zachary Parrish, Micah Flick, and Heath Gum. In the face of this senseless tragedy, however, Coloradans came together to rally behind the men and women who have sworn to protect us.
It's been a tough couple months for Colorado.
As soon as he was sworn in, his blood turned blue. So in turn, mine did too.
Our hearts are all broken.
A community came together to heal and honor the life lost.
It's what you should be doing in this time of need.
And I think it's the least we can do to come out here, no matter how cold, and pay our respects.
We just want to give them hope, and we want to let them know that they are loved.
Their sacrifice and their spirit is something that we can never forget.
We're holding flags to honor the policemen.
And I just wanted to be here to show our support.
We just want to let them know that we care.
It goes to show how strong of a community that we have here.
The fiery sight left people in shock. A massive fire lit up the Denver skyline. 2 construction workers died while others tried to save one another. And through this emotional time, Coloradans leaned on each other to pull through.
It was a normal day. I didn't expect to come home to an empty house.
Right now, you are looking at a massive fire.
Please move back.
It was just confusion.
This fire is spreading.
My first thoughts were for the construction workers.
There was a guy, he was hanging on. We tried to get a ladder to him, but he couldn't hang on and he fell.
Panicked workers helped one another to safety.
He thought he was the last one, heard a scream, went back in the building, and by then it was to engulf.
Firefighters just made a tragic discovery in that rubble.
2 of them never made it back out.
It's heartbreaking.
Dustin Peterson and Roberto Flores Prieto.
And we're not able to save everybody there. Our people take it very seriously.
He loved his children, so I mean, he loved me.
They're grieving loved ones, finding support in each other.
Knowing that he went back into the building to save another guy, he's kind of like the family hero now.
And the community.
People of Denver should be proud of the fire department and the way they responded.
It feels really good to be supported by law enforcement, by the paramedics, by the firefighters. It's community, you know, in every sense of the word.
Our hearts broke for a family in Weld County killed by their own husband and father. But in the midst of this gut-wrenching case, Coloradans came together to wrap their arms around that grieving family. A pregnant mother and her 2 young girls, Shanann, Bella, and Celeste Watts, taken far too soon by the man who was supposed to protect them.
You heartless monster.
A court sentenced murderer Chris Watts to life in prison.
I hope you spend the rest of your life staring at the ceiling every night, being haunted by what you've done.
The community refusing to be paralyzed by pain.
A great way to process some of this is to give service.
For nearly 2 weeks, the memorial grew outside the Watts family home. John asked Shanann's father if he could repurpose the memorial to honor the lives of those lost. John collected hundreds of stuffed animals, clearing the memorial, donated to local police departments to be given to other children in crisis.
All in honor of the children.
May God have mercy on your soul. I hope you enjoy your new life. It's nothing like the one you had out here.
In Colorado Springs, an unforgettable hailstorm will leave a lasting dent in our memory. 1 minute, visitors at the Cheyenne Mountain Zoo were enjoying all the animals, and the next, they're running for cover.
I was terrified.
Softball-sized hail pummeled the Cheyenne Mountain Zoo.
This storm hit fast and it hit hard.
People running, windows breaking.
I was just really scared.
Zoo workers risked injury to protect their animals and guests.
There was a guy carrying kids and he was just throwing them in the building saying, here, I got to go get more kids.
Shredded roofs, shattered windows.
This storm caused tons of damage,
both to the zoo and to the hundreds of cars in the parking lot.
The windshield's gone, the tailgate window's gone.
But with donations from the community and the zoo staff's relentless work.
The Cheyenne Mountain Zoo down in Colorado Springs will finally reopen tomorrow morning after a very trying week.
This is home away from home. I needed to come see how things were.
The zoo was back in business.
Copies giving Two Bears access to main yard.
Our exhibits look great. The animals are looking great. We might look a little tired when we open tomorrow, but everything else is looking amazing.
And as you can tell, they're ready for some visitors.
It was a crazy day.
A night out in Lodo is always eventful, but the bar crowd never expected to see this.
There's a male driving a lawnmower who crashed into a fence.
Video of the joyride went viral.
A tractor out of nowhere in the middle of the road in downtown Denver on a Friday night.
The suspect had stolen the tractor from Denver Water's headquarters.
This is a pretty large tractor, and he's just mowing through stuff right now.
Officers put themselves in harm's way to stop the chase.
And then this guy ran head into the tractor.
And arrested the driver with help from a police dog.
It's pretty crazy, man.
This year, Colorado politics were on the national stage.
And neither one makes Colorado a horrible place to live and work.
The United States talking Congress, over each other. Walker. We're not getting anywhere with this.
Yeah. In one of the most closely watched races in the country, Coloradans elected Jared Polis, the first openly gay man in the nation to serve as governor. And leading up to Election Day, our political specialist Sean Boyd covered all the issues Coloradans faced. She helped voters make informed decisions, breaking down the political ads in her Reality Check segments.
I'm Sean Boyd. That's Reality Check.
What was once the buffer zone of a nuclear weapons facility is now a national wildlife refuge. Our Rick Salinger shows us the next chapter for Rocky Flats.
For 40 years, the triggers for hydrogen bonds were created here at Rocky Flats. Now anyone can walk right into parts of it after decades of being off limits. Protesters had hoped that day would never come.
We're worried that people are going to think that this is a wildlife refuge and not a nuclear Superfund buffer zone.
We would not open up the Rocky Flats if we did not believe it was safe for our employees and our visitors.
There's been so much testing going on for years, and hopefully we can get it right.
A Denver neighborhood hosted the city's biggest ever music festival, Grand Doozy. But as our Sean Chitness found out, pulling off the three-day event was a tall order.
We have new details tonight about a new music festival coming to Denver's Overland Park Golf Course.
I'm not too happy about it, but a lot of the people in the neighborhood are very excited about it.
Months of planning and community outreach went into making sure Grand Doozy was a good neighbor.
Oh, it's good. They have the festival set up well.
And an incredible show.
They've got some huge names. I mean, the headliners are fantastic.
St. Vincent, Kendrick Lamar, Mavis Staples,
De La Soul,
Gasoline Lollipops, and Dragon Deer.
Local music, art, food, all coming together for an unforgettable experience.
Having something like this is pushing the edges culturally.
That's a wrap. The inaugural Grand Doozy Music Fest came to an end last night, and today was all about the cleanup.
Did it work perfectly? No, but it worked pretty well, and we're going to improve on it.
Organizers are already hoping to bring Grand Doozy back to Denver next year.
After years of delays and more than $1 billion over budget, the new Veterans Administration Medical Center finally opened its doors to patients.
So I'd like to see more accountability on the part of our elected leaders.
But there is optimism and hope that our veterans in the Rocky Mountain region will now get the health care they deserve.
Truthfully, I'm excited. There's a lot of people that really need help, and I think this will do the job. I really do.
One of the best parts about living in Colorado is the wildlife, but sometimes the animals get just a little too close. Multiple times we saw law enforcement have to carefully let hungry bears out of cars. The bears get in but can't get out, and they tear up the interior to shreds. In Boulder County, Flatirons Elementary had to go on lockout 4 times in a month because bears were spotted nearby. As one Denver family showed our Kelly Worthman, giving wildlife their space can make for a pretty good show.
It happens as soon as the sun sets.
That's their cue to come out and party time begins.
And Matt McCune's backyard is where the party's at.
At night, it's theirs. In the day, it's ours, and it seems to work out.
Every night, a family of foxes takes over McCune's backyard. 9 kits love to play on the trampoline, making for an adorable playtime view.
Very cute. They're very cute, there's no doubt.
McCune said fox families have played in the yard for years, even before his family moved in.
You've probably seen them zipping around, and whether you love them or hate them, dockless scooters have made their mark in Denver. An army of electric scooters showed up seemingly overnight in the Mile High City.
I feel like anything that gets people out of cars is a good thing.
But the companies that sprung them on Denver did it without permission. They were fined tens of thousands of dollars, then hit the streets again with the proper permit.
We obviously, went back and forth with Public Works for a little while, but I'm excited where we are now.
There is still confusion and safety concerns.
It never crossed my mind that he was actually going to hit me and said, those belong in the street. And I'm like, no, actually they belong in the sidewalk.
The city is smoothing out the details, so for now, let's all remember to share the road. Still to come, our commitment to not only cover the issues facing our state, but to cover how Coloradans are working together to find solutions. We call it Together for Colorado, and this year we launched a new show dedicated to highlighting those stories.
I did not see that coming.
Last year, we embarked on a new journey, telling memorable stories across Colorado. We report the serious stuff, but also the uplifting and inspiring. Thank you for coming along. This year, we launched Together with Karen Lee, a show that focuses on the positive impact Coloradans are making every day.
Feels awesome, and I just feel so free.
The kicker on a high school football team played for much more than just wins this season. Our Karen Morfitt shows us how he made a difference.
Strangers before Friday night, Noah Karwacki and 12-year-old Zachary Schultz had an instant connection through football.
He's very tough. He's a tough kid.
2 years ago, Zach was diagnosed with leukemia.
When I first got diagnosed, the only thing I wanted to do is just play football.
But his time on the field was put on hold. Instead, his older brother Jordan says the family was focused on treatment.
It was really hard, and it was really hard on everyone. And one of the things that we wanted to make sure is that no other family had to, sit in the hospital room and get told that their child has cancer.
That's where Karwacki comes in. A kicker for Vista Peak High School, he's raising money for research. Fans pledge dollars for every kick he makes.
It's amazing. Why? Because just to raise money for other kids, and this is what I want to do when I get older.
All around him, it's all about him. His game's very important.
And they weren't just playing for Zach, they made him part of the team.
When we go out there and fight, we're fighting like we're fighting for Zach tonight.
Leading the charge onto the field, calling the toss, and watching not from the stands, but from the sidelines. Karwacki ended the night putting several points on the board, but the final score, not important, because this game wasn't about winning or losing.
A Colorado charity dedicates itself to helping veterans. Their key to success, having 4 legs and a tail. Our Jeff Todd introduces us to a vet who says his Rocky Mountain dog saved his life.
It was just that shock wave that really scrambles your brain. That's where the TBI came from.
Steve Brown served a 2-year tour in Iraq in the Army National Guard. When he came home, he was eventually diagnosed with PTSD.
Doctors, medication, the gamut for 10 years.
Taking up to 3 antidepressants a day, he contemplated suicide.
Having life is a wonderful thing.
His life turned around about a year ago.
Good boy, Toby.
When he connected with the Rocky Mountain Dogs Project and got his service dog, Toby.
Almost 2 years old, he's a German short-hair pointer.
I had no idea how this would work out.
Kevin Sanka's son, Corporal David Sanka, was killed along with his war dog in Afghanistan in 2013. To honor his son, Kevin started not just giving veteran service dogs.
I don't have too much strict obedience on him.
But actually teaching the vets to train dogs.
There's going to come a day where Toby's not going to be around, and I'm going to need to train another dog. I have the skills and tools to train a new puppy.
These skills created a relationship with Toby that has changed Steve's life.
April 1st was the last time I took any PTSD meds.
Oh boy. It makes me so proud that Steve is now off all his medication.
Happy. And these are emotions. Prior to this is either anger or depression.
Knowing we've helped one person.
Thank you.
That's the best part.
Even Santa needs a helping hand. Our Jamie Leary shows us how the community in Golden came together to save Christmas.
Bill Lee is known as Santa Bill to the community pretty much year-round.
There's Cupid and Dancer and Dasher over there and Vixen.
He gets ready for the holidays months in advance. When a September fire destroyed his main mode of transportation, he had no idea how he'd get his reindeer to fly when his sleigh looked like this.
I started seeing a little flame from way back under behind the engine.
Santa Bill needed a new sleigh fast. The community jumped into action.
Bill is always a guy that lives within his means. He's the nicest guy in the world.
Jeremiah Curtis owns Bodacious Diesel. When his son heard what happened, he begged his dad to help. He reached out to other businesses. Within a week, they were all hard at work.
20 businesses involved in this.
From the transmission to the engine parts and candy cane shocks.
And some people don't even want to be recognized. They don't want their name on it. And just because they're just happy to do it.
People came by nightly to work on the truck.
I just want to congratulate you for doing this.
Okay. Even Jeremiah's son stayed up, insisting he helped build Santa's sleigh. With the holidays fast approaching, they just barely made their deadline.
Okay, guys, we're getting close, so we need to move in. Find seats.
It was finally time to give Santa his sleigh.
Okay, Sean. Surprise!
He was at a loss for words as he made his way through the crowd.
Thank you. We love you.
A community he's given so much to.
This is amazing.
This was their moment to give back.
This is just unbelievable for me. I'm hoping that it doesn't go quite as fast as the reindeer, though.
Looking under the hood, it just might.
This isn't a slow truck, buddy.
Santa Bill used the opportunity to share his favorite holiday message.
It's not about all the toys you get. Santa never promises a toy. It's about sharing your love and giving gifts to others. And I couldn't ask for a better gift. Thank you.
That's the gift, is everybody in that room. And the truck is an object that can be replaced. What people did here can't be replaced.
Santa's got a brand new sleigh.
Still much more to come as we celebrate the best of 2018. Colorado is flying high, cementing its place as a leader in the ever-growing space industry. Meet your neighbors, sending crucial technology out of this world. Plus, CBS 4 investigators fight to protect Colorado homeowners, exposing a crack in city policy.
Is the government going to be held to the same standard as all the residents?
3, 2, 1, and liftoff.
This year, a state-of-the-art weather satellite launched into orbit, improving the forecasts our meteorologists bring you every day. It was built here in Colorado, along with other crucial spacecraft, cementing our state as a leader in the aerospace industry. One of the most exciting was the InSight mission to Mars. Built and tested by Lockheed Martin engineers in Littleton, it landed safely on the red planet after a long and stressful journey.
We basically have one shot to get it right.
They call it the 7 minutes of terror.
Anytime you want to land on another planet, very challenging, but very exciting at the same time.
Years of hard work comes down to a 7-minute landing, millions of miles away on Mars, with no one at the controls.
We really don't have the ability to joystick the spacecraft.
Touchdown confirmed. Now, NASA's InSight lander will begin its historic mission to drill into Mars, feel its heartbeat, and send back critical data that will help pave the way for humans' first step onto another planet.
Colorado's really had a part in so many missions to not only Mars, but to kind of every planet out in our solar system and beyond. So, yeah, we have so much to be proud of in the state of Colorado.
In Denver, a crackdown on cracks. The city wants homeowners to fix their broken sidewalks and foot the bill. But CBS 4 investigator Brian Moss found out the city has some of its own to worry about.
A sidewalk inspector has begun walking Sherman Street, and when he finds deteriorating stretches of sidewalk, the homeowner is now being notified. They are responsible for fixing it. Potentially hundreds or thousands of dollars in repairs for individual property owners.
We've had numerous comments from people over the time I've been in office of tripping on a sidewalk and breaking a wrist and knocking out a tooth.
Denver City Councilman Paul Cashman says it's about time the city began proactively getting residents to fix their sidewalks so people can safely get around on foot. The city has rolled out an information campaign warning property owners of what to expect. We showed Cashman problem sidewalks we found.
That would be quite a problem.
Probably a hazard?
Absolutely.
Does this guy need to fix this?
Absolutely.
But what we found and showed him was not homeowners' sidewalks. These are sidewalks adjacent to city property, like this stretch of sidewalk on the south side of City Park with sections that are clearly hazardous, or this sidewalk between Spear Boulevard and a park, or this substandard sidewalk bordering Washington Park. All of them the responsibility of city government. Is the government going to be held to the same standard as all the residents?
Oh, I would absolutely hope so.
We also showed what we found in Nancy Kuhn with Denver Public Works. She says if inspections come across deficiencies with city-owned sidewalks, it will be addressed.
So just as we're asking the homeowners to address it, we're going to be also addressing our own.
And based on what we found, that could take a lot of time and money.
Covering Colorado first is our priority, and that means bringing you the news you need when you need it. Some of our most memorable coverage extends off the TV screen, online, and on social media. Plus, a few of our favorite characters of the year are still to come, the people who make us proud to call Colorado home. Social media is a great way for us to bring you the news as it happens, but we also use it to hear your input, share your stories, and grow together as a community. That was evident as Coloradans watched the saga of Luna unfold live on the CBS Denver Facebook page. The unlucky pup got stuck under a house. The rescue took hours. The whole time, viewers who couldn't show support in person did so online, following our live stream until little Luna was back safe with her family.
Hey, say hi to live here.
And CBS 4 sports team showed you the Denver Broncos from a whole new angle this season. Starting with training camp, we went on the field, in the locker room, and up close and personal with the boys in blue and orange. Just another way we're covering Colorado first. We were honored to share so many of your inspiring stories this year, like Red Girard, the 17-year-old snowboarding sensation from Colorado. He earned the United States' first gold medal in the 2018 Winter Olympics. Along with our many other Olympians, Girard got a hero's welcome at home in Silverthorne, appropriately renamed Goldthorne for the celebration. Programmer, scientist, artist, entrepreneur, and media personality, all at the age of 16. Erica Wagner wowed us this year as one of our Future Leader honorees. She uses her YouTube channel to empower other girls, even starting her own brand.
This one says, I'm the face of STEAM, so this lets everyone know that girls can also do STEAM things as well. Whether it's science, or it's art, or it's math, engineering, technology, we can do it all.
An incredible story of survival. A young woman saves her boyfriend after he was struck by lightning. They were camping in the high country when it happened.
Very grateful that my girlfriend was there and knew CPR.
A life-changing experience for Isaiah Cormier and Juliet Moore.
Take a little time to be grateful for the people in your life today, because they're wonderful, and just hold them a little closer.
They both head to college together next fall, and no surprise here, Juliet wants to be a nurse. You can watch all these stories and more at cbsdenver.com. Thank you for joining us. I'm Britt Marino here inside Denver's Union Station, covering Colorado first.